Well, hello. So I'm back to ramble at you because I was going to pop off and do lockdown on my own if no one was listening and enjoying these. But you've all said to pop back on. So here I am. Nothing prepared as per, just a chatty ramble or a chamble, if you will. That's pleasing. The only downside of doing regular, and in this case daily, Insta videos is that you'll notice that I've not changed my clothing from yesterday. But I think that's totally acceptable in our current circumstances. In fact, I think it's acceptable generally in life. I think we can go 3-4 days at the moment, frankly. I'm not talking about ye undergarments. No, those I believe do need to be changed. But yeah, I'm sporting a different hat today. Which is making me feel a little bit like a cricket umpire. But there we go. So at least that's slightly different. Yes, so what am I chatty rambling about today? Well, yesterday, it's really fun just to get these thoughts out. And yesterday it was about the fact that our purpose in life, in whatever we do, and as we go inwards and reflect during this time, because we have the time to do that and think, what am I doing with my life and why? Well, yesterday, I just hit the nail on the head and said, well, surely our purpose is to love, and that's it. And I stand by that because we love within our fields of expertise and our skills and what we want to do with our lives. But there is therefore always a purpose behind what we're doing, to love and to give and to support. And from love, everything good and wonderful that we need comes. Joy, playfulness, gentleness, kindness, patience, goodness. Yeah, so to inherently know that we are about loving is, I think, as I hinted at yesterday, just joyful because it releases a pressure on it being about us. So when we follow a career path and don't think about why we're doing it, that puts huge, strange now, isn't that? Puts huge new pressure. It puts an enormous pressure on us and it becomes all about us. So therefore, any job interview we don't get feels like a failure. Any audition we don't get feels like a massive failure because it's like, oh, this is my career and I must be seen to be successful. Somebody reminded me, I saw one of the comments about what could be perceived as an epic fail of mine. Was I had a small part in an ITV drama with Martin Clunes called William and Mary back in the day. I think this was early noughties or like late 90s, and was thrilled. It was like a big moment for me. It was just one scene, but to be in an ITV comedy drama was huge at the time. It was still would be. And then they said, I got a call from my agent saying, oh, really exciting news, they're going to bring the character back and she's going to be a regular in the series. So I thought, well, thrilled with this. This could be it. This could be the big break I need. And then I was told to go to a meeting with the casting director and the producers. I assumed to chat about the role and see what they're doing with it. But sit down in a room, it was almost like a classic film set and film scene. And there was a whole row of tall, dark-haired ladies, no one as tall as I, obviously. And I realised I was having to audition for the part that I had already played. So that was humiliating enough. But guess what? Didn't get the part. I didn't get the part that I had already played. So, and I remember thinking, I remember not being devastated. I remember just properly laughing with my friends and saying, well, this, in the unlikely event that I do succeed as an actor, I might have an autobiography and I'll put that in it. Just laughed and just thought, yeah, what a great story. And I didn't see it as an epic fail at all. I don't know why, I don't know why at the time, because at the time I was thinking I want a career in this. But I think I just thought, no, maybe I didn't think I wanted a career. I think I just thought I want to try to have the opportunity to follow my heart and do the thing that really brings me life, and that I think I might get good at some point, or good enough. So any setback was just like, oh well, I'll keep trying until I feel like I should stop trying. And yes, so not perceiving things as failures as you go along your journey in life, as you follow what you want to do, because there is no direct straight path to work life, to success. It's all, you know, up and down, and every inverted commas failure is a progress in what you learn from it, and is necessary. So I just think you go back to going, it doesn't matter, it's just part of my journey, and because ultimately I'm rooted in the fact that I'm doing this to love and to give, it's not about me. So the less and less things become about you, the more freeing it is. Do you see, does that make sense? I've not sort of explained it, but I read this morning, and I have to share. Reading from laptop in case you, bit cleavagey, apologies, or not. What's this? Sort of a little bit sexy there, a little bit cricket umpire on top. It's a heady combination, isn't it? Okay, this is from somebody I admire greatly. He's a sort of theologian, very, very clever, in the sort of mystic Catholic realm, something I wouldn't have expected to have read. But anyway, he's called Richard Raw. He's fabulous. And he's, just in a nutshell, has explained what I was then leading on to thinking about. But when we start thinking about, okay, our purpose is to love in whatever way we want to, because when you think about it, see, here I go, I'm chatty rambling, I'm trambling at you. When you're at somebody's funeral, a eulogy doesn't say, and he had X amounts of money in his bank account was this, he'd paid off a mortgage by this, he won this award at work, he was best employee of the month for this. I mean, no. That's not what you want to hear at your eulogy. You want to hear that you made a difference to people, that you were kind, that you were loving, you made them laugh, that you imparted wisdom, that you just listened, that you were nice to be around, you were just the best version of you could be. So, yeah, I've chambled now to the extent that I have no idea what I'm currently talking about. Bear with, using my own catchphrases, I get back on track, yes. So when I was thinking, well, if our purpose is to love in whatever way we do, and then that takes the pressure off us. The thing we're realising now, and the thing that's brilliant about that, taking the pressure off us and what we must achieve and what we must be doing and how we should be perceived, and what status we should get, is the pressure's off, because we realise we're not ultimately in control. And us humans so desperately want to be in control. You know, the ego just wants to be in control. It wants to plan. It doesn't want failures. It doesn't want ups and downs. It wants a direct path to some kind of success. It wants everything to go right. It doesn't really like suffering. But what we are learning at this time is that we are not in control. I saw a Brian Eno quote floating about on social media just saying, it's actually relatively recently that humans have felt like they could be in control, because ultimately we weren't. We had predators, there were constant natural disasters. Of course, Australia earlier this year, and fires and tsunamis, we're constantly not in control. But yet we try and grip on. But paradoxically, not being in control is freeing and is the answer. And I just really hope we learn that from this. I'm just kind of getting it. So in my small, way of talking about purpose on this little, I was going to very grandly call my Chatty Ramblings a series then. Get me. My little series of talking about, let's think about our purpose and what we want to go back to post-lockdown and post-pandemic, and why we're going back to it. I'm talking about everybody's jobs and everyone's heart's desire and what they want to do with their life. But it's kind of much bigger than that. And yeah, so control. I totally lost my thought there. He says, to be in control of one's destiny, job or finances is nearly an unquestionable moral value in Western society. The popular phrase, take control of your life, even sounds mature and spiritual. It's the fundamental message of nearly every self-help book. On a practical level, it is true, but not on the big level. Our bodies, our souls, and especially our failures teach us this as we get older. We are clearly not in control, as this pandemic is now teaching the whole planet. It is amazing that we need to assert the obvious. Well, it wasn't obvious to me, it is now, but it's not obvious to many, many, many people. Learning that we are not in control situates us correctly in the universe. If we are to feel at home in this world, we have to come to know that we are not steering the ship. And when you go, oh, I'm not in control of my life, I'll just take a day at a time and be loving. Don't your shoulders drop? Mine just have. I just like the pressure to be a certain way, to be good at something, to be successful, to be nice, to be a really good friend, to do. Just, oh, no, I'm not in control. I just moment by moment do my best, that's it. Or that is it. We're not steering the ship. I'm not steering the ship of not only how I am perceived, but I can't fix people, I can't fix the world, I can't fix my relationships, I can't fix other people in the relationships, I can't fix my job and my work and whether it appeals to one person or 10 people or 10 million people. I'm not in control, and that is where true freedom and enlightenment comes, I believe. He says that the fact that we're not steering the ship, that teaching is found in the mystical writings of all religions. Mystics know they're being guided, and their reliance upon that guidance is precisely what allows their journey to happen. We cannot understand that joy and release unless we've been there and experienced the freedom for ourselves. Joy and release is going to come in this time, could come in this time, if we take this opportunity to realise that we are not in control. The other thing that I wanted to share was a friend sent me a BBC article about kindness. And as we are on the theme of the fact that being loving and being kind is basically the solution to life and the only thing we need to think about and take moment by moment, the rest we're not in control. Joy. I'll read you this article. Another positive that might emerge from this crisis is a surge in kindness. In the UK, more than 700,000 volunteers stepped forward to help the NHS. 700,000. It's incredible. And the nation showed its appreciation to carers by applauding in unison. That made me cry, did it not to you? Kindness is often considered, particularly by economists, to be a short-lived anomaly. Just dust. Don't be alarmed, just dust. But I wonder if kindness can become a more sustainable part of our societies, yes, particularly when people realise that altruism and self-interest are not so very far apart. That's interesting, unpack that. Consider a study of more than 600 medical students, which found that the selfish ones, the people who focused on their own progress and cared little for others, they performed very well in their first year. These takers were very good at extracting information, and by offering little in return, they were able to focus on their own progress. Those who were more generous with their time and were willing to offer insights to their fellow students, the givers, got left behind. But here's the curious thing. By the second year, the kinder cohort had caught up, and by the third year had overtaken their peers. Indeed, by the final year, the givers had gained significantly higher grades. Indeed, a kinder attitude was a more powerful predictor of school grades than the effect of smoking on lung cancer rates. What's going on? The givers hadn't changed, but the structure of the programme has shifted. As the psychologist Adam Grant has written, as students progress through medical school, they move from the independent classes into clinical rotations and patient care. The further they advance, the more their success depends on teamwork and service. Whereas takers sometimes win in the independent roles where performance is only about individual results, givers thrive in interdependent, it's quite tricky to say, roles where collaboration matters. This is a finding that keeps re-emerging in social science. People with a giving approach are flourishing in a world of interdependency. You know, power and flourishing, and neuroscience has shown that acts of kindness change the brain. And so this time is not only telling us we are not in control and that there is paradoxical freedom in that, but that we are interdependent, we are part of a wider community. Our purpose is to love in our bespoke ways. And to continue this, the evidence also shows that the most successful givers are strategic, seeking out diversity by cutting off selfish people who seek to exploit them. As one researcher put it, a giving attitude is a powerful asset when allied to social intelligence. A world with more kindness and creativity is one to look forward to. We would be reaching out for new solutions, rebelling against outmoded ideas, but in a spirit of collaboration, helping us all to become more successful. It goes on, but yeah, gosh, and I'm back to not speaking generically about political leaders, not anyone in particular, although there's always one person that comes to mind, isn't there, when it comes to current leadership. But I find, you know, the political figures we vote for are the people who could put themselves to one side, as I was saying yesterday, to love, to not be about themselves, to not have to lie, who can apologise, who can explain what they're doing, who can get it wrong publicly, who can not see failure as embarrassing, who can be brave and confident enough to go, got that wrong. You know, that's who we vote for. We vote for somebody who is doing it for love. Anyway, so in this time, not only how can we be loving in our small little ways, you know, we can't change the world on our own. We just do it very simply and within our resources, very gently, however we can. If we've got a burning heart's desire to follow a particular purpose, then we do that, and we just do it day by day, and we see it for a bigger purpose, not just for our careers and success. But also, if you are, and maybe I'll chatty ramble, chamble about this tomorrow or at another point. I may not commit to every day. If you are feeling like I need the loving now, not a euphemism, I'm not talking about sexual times, the sexy times. If you are feeling, actually, I'm somebody who needs the love and support right now, this is your chance. If you find it difficult to say help, to say it. It took me so long to realise vulnerability wasn't weakness, and it still jars with me if I have to be, inverted commas, weak and vulnerable and ask for help. I just never did that. I just never asked for help. I felt like I had to be the strong one, and there are many, hello to you, those of you who are in that camp. And it's tricky. So yeah, that's another thing to reflect on in this time. Do you meet your needs? Do you know what your needs are? Are you able to ask for help? Well, we've got to 19 minutes. Oh gosh, now I'm feeling vulnerable about whether to post this. I know what I've meant to say, and I've no idea whether I've said it articulately. Usually, I suppose, when I make any kind of televisual in front of camera appearance, I'm relatively prepared. Or I've got enough adrenaline because it's a live performance to be really articulate. As I love improvising and I love a Q&A when I don't know what the questions are going to be. So perhaps I'll do that. Perhaps I'll do an Insta Live soon, and then I'll get some cues and I'll be able to back at you. Yeah, shall I pop off now and go and find a cricket match to umpire? cricket is actually quite good in a social distancing. Perhaps we should all go to a park and play cricket. Very far apart with cricket. Yes, not a bad thought. Bye.